financial planning for the sustenance of yourself and your family and your future, by the time you're already a little deeper into your life and you already missed a few mortgage payments, the hole just gets bigger. So don't get into that stage. To begin with, plan yourself financially so you could have a life of growth rather than sinking into a deeper abyss, God forbid. That in addition to the clothing and the doctors and the good food and the good educational facilities and institutions you're providing for, to give your children emotional support, to have that space, that mental capacity to sit and listen to the so-called small issues of a child, which to them are so big, and once you solve them, you don't earn the respect of your children by demanding respect. You earn the respect of your children by being a role model of how a human being should conduct their day-to-day life. You wake up early, you're doing something productive, you're respectful, you're bringing home food, you're providing well. Role model is greater than any teacher's lesson. Maimonides, the great thinker, Rambam, the doctor, the Jewish doctor in Egypt, he said that when you educate and you scold and you discipline, you have to be very calm inside. Even if sometimes you have to put up a very disciplinary face, sort of a meaner face, you're not smiley, you're not friendly inside, you're supposed to. There's such a high cost of living now that the parents are depleted when it comes time to educate their kids and spend time with their kids. So the biggest challenge I think today is finding the old, good old-fashioned time our forefathers and even our great-grandfathers back in the old country or in America had for their kids, sitting on the couch, talking, for an hour. And we don't find the time because we're so depleted from our hard work to support them. So try to do it, even though life is hard to support now. Try to find that time. And that will help you against all the threats, such as social media, they see the wrong things. There are certain failures that children encounter that is a result of the children's nature, that sometimes even constant nurture doesn't necessarily heal. Those failures, let them fail. Let them fail in those fields. But there are many failures which you as a parent, again, as I said before, if you would have found the time to have a relationship with that child, not to be impulsive. It's a very impulsive generation. It's a very impulsive mentality and culture now. People read the beginning of an article, sometimes not even the beginning, the headline, and they make conclusions, they draw conclusions, and they make decisions that are completely irrational, and they hurt people around them based on those headlines. Like someone once told me, everybody thinks in headlines today. Don't be impulsive. It's the biggest plague today. People are looking at little shorts and they're making these impulsive decisions based on it and having these impulsive emotions on the spot and drawing conclusions that are totally false narrative. Everything you hear, process it. God gave you a system of processing. Chachma, wisdom, bina, comprehension, das, connection. Connect to the ideas that you saw and read and process them correctly. There are studies that most of the worries don't come into fruition. So most of your worries are unfounded. In other words, you have a reason to worry, but they're not real. Also, people are very worried about what other people think about them. And meanwhile, those people inside are weaker most of the time, and they're busy defending themselves and presenting themselves in a way that they look good to you while you're being worried about what they think about you. So stop worrying about people and stop worrying about things, because most of the time nothing bad will happen, and work and be positive. Have confidence in yourself. People are so not confident inside. I don't look good, I don't have a good voice, I don't smell good, I'm not from a good family. And it's so unfounded in reality. When you're older, you wish you knew when you're older how good you were when you were younger. You wish you knew when you're younger how good you know you were, you could see you are when you're older, when you look back. So have confidence. Tell your kids and your family and your friends, never think about a negative image about yourself. Never think negatively about yourself. From my father, Yisrael ben Avram alav hashalom, I learned to try to like the people you love. You love your family, you'll do anything for them. It doesn't mean you like them. He loved hanging out with us. We were his friends. Like your kids. Don't just love them. Like your spouse. Don't just love her or him. Teach yourself, accustom yourself how to like the people that you love. And another thing was, he would tell me that at the end of the day, like it says in one of the Lubavitch Rebbe's books, Dayimim, is like a small end of a lifetime. Just like at the end of the lifetime of a person, they do what's called vidui, a confession to God for everything that was wrong, and they ask forgiveness, and they want to have a clean slate. At the end of the day, you should confess to God, and he would tell me, shed a tear and tell God, I'm sorry that I did the wrong things today, I said the wrong things today, and I love you, and please love me always. I know you do, and have a relationship with God while you do a miniature confession every night by Shema. Why does God afflict the righteous? And when I say the righteous, I mean many of you, both Jewish, non-Jewish, just good people, working hard, supporting their family. Like, what do we believe in? What's all the suffering for? So my answer is, I'm not here to justify God when he suffocates humanity. God doesn't need my advocacy. My job is to complain to God, to beg him, more than complain, and shout, hey, we're your creations, be kind to us. That's my job as a rabbi. But to shed a little light, a little comfort, the first Chabad Rebbe wrote a book called Tanya, and it has 5 different sections, and there's one section called the letter of returning to God. And in the 12th chapter of that section, he says like this. He says that when the sun moves in the sky a few thousand miles, when you see it shift, the shadow on the ground shifts by a fraction of an inch, because a fraction of an inch here represents thousands of miles there. So the suffering you go through here is equivalent to much more would have taken place suffering for you after your life, after you go to heaven. So by having the suffering down here, it's much less painful than purgatory, than hell, and it brings you much comfort later, because of the suffering here has a tremendous amount of value and equivalence in heaven. May God alleviate all of mankind's suffering. We're taught in Yiddishkeit and in Hasidic teachings that whenever you fall, God doesn't do it in order, the real God, who's not mean, doesn't do it in order for you to come back to the same place you fell from. You were here, you fell in life, financially, relationships, whatever. It's not in order for you to come back here, because then God was mean, God forbid. And he's teva toiv lehetiv, the nature of someone kindness to do kindness. Why did he make you fall in order to come back to the same place? No. You fell in order to come back to the same place, but then to go higher. Your fall, this is what gives you the strength and the experience and whatever other outcomes, but definitely it gives you the power to go back higher. Otherwise you wouldn't have fallen in the first place. The greater the fall,
the greater you go up after. Shalom Aleichem. Today's Shiur Torah lesson is dedicated in memory of the father of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Levi Yitzchak ben Baruch Schneer. His last name was Schneerson. He was not a Rebbe, he was a tzaddik who literally passed away. He died for his people. Today is the 20th of Av. The Rebbe says that people don't realize, they underestimate the power of giving even a little charity in memory of someone great, of a tzaddik, a righteous person. So today, make sure you give a little bit of charity to a kosher Jewish cause that helps good people with real needs, or to spread Torah or Hasidic or Kabbalistic teachings. Evaluating my self-worth in an age of AI, when robots could do better than me in everything. The misconception is that you think a robot is doing better than you because you define a human being as intellect. The human value is the heart, is the intellectual heart, a heart guided by intellect. You have a tremendous asset in you. You have a tremendous potential to spread so much emotional goodness by being emotionally good and kind. Every human has so many opportunities by divine providence all around them, in their home, at work, on their block, to go and spread good feelings. No creature in the world could do that besides you.